Hello and welcome back to Suspended Fanimation. I'm your host, Dennis Bithoulkas, and it's time for the Sunday edition of Sunday morning blast off. There we go. Saturday morning blast off is really what it is. Welcome, everybody. Let me take care of some business first and we'll get down to it. If you like what you see here, like, share, and subscribe. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, take a look at the video that pops up at the very end here. YouTube takes the algorithms of all the stuff you've been watching and tries to match it as best as possible to one of the videos, my vast video library, and pops it up here just for you. And if you like what you see there, hit that subscribe button down below. Also, if you're feeling lucky or you feel like gambling, you can hit that bell down below, and YouTube may or may not notify you when I come on live. Best thing to do is go over to suspendedfanimation.com. Take a look at the schedule up there. I change it out every week. I usually come close to it. Today was a little bit of a misnomer on that one. I had some stuff I had to do this morning and really overshot that 10:30 start time. But it's normally within a half hour range. So take a look at that there. I also have the links to my social media there and all the links to my pages as well. So let's get started, shall we? Um, so the big news of this week, of course, is the announcement of Deadpool 3, which now has a release date of September 6th, 2024. And the also equally big news is that Hugh Jackman is going to be returning as Wolverine within Deadpool 3. This has gotten a lot of idiots in an uproar saying, well, Logan was supposed to be the last time Wolverine. That's in the future. That was completely spelled out multiple times in that movie that Logan takes place in the future, probably even an alternate timeline, whatever. And this Wolverine is in the past. So yes, it's Hugh Jackman coming back as Wolverine. Yes, we know he said he retired, but he didn't. He's come back. Most likely he wanted to work with Ryan Reynolds again, since they are good friends. So yes, it is happening. So September of 2024, we're going to get Deadpool 3 along with Wolverine. And it looks like it's probably going to be like there has been rumors that it's a road trip kind of thing. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. I'm looking forward to it. Looks like it's gonna be fun. I mean, shit, we're getting Deadpool and we're getting Wolverine in the same movie, live action. I'm all for it, quite honestly. So people have to gripe about something, I guess, is what's going on there. But yeah, it looks like fun. Also, we got the news that James Earl Jones is retiring from voicing Darth Vader. I mean, the man is 91 after all. He has signed over the rights to have his voice recreated by AI. So that's interesting and also frightening at the same time. Stanley, hey, how's it going? Kevin Feige has no say in this. Well, obviously they pitched it to him. I mean, they had to have pitched it to him in order to as part of the Deadpool 3 deal. I'm fairly sure there was some wheeling and dealing done, and probably everyone was in talks about all this stuff, and I'm sure Hugh Jackman did not take it lightly. He has said before that working out to become Wolverine to get that body takes a physical toll obviously on him. He's in his 50s, early 50s, and uh also that's the steroid use too, well, allegedly. uh but they need a new Wolverine. Won't that confuse things? No. I mean, we have alternate timelines now. We have the establishment of alternate universes, alternate timelines. This has all been established now with the multiverse. uh what if Loki, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. That's where we're in right now. We have multiple different universes that have different people as Wolverine. So you can have, your Zach Efron as Wolverine if you want to, or your Daniel Radcliffe as Wolverine, or Danny DeVito as Wolverine. You can have all of those all within different universes. So it's fine. And the only people that are going to be confused are the people that just don't understand what the multiverse is. So CBM says, I hope they have limits to those rights. You're talking about the voice rights, CBM, to James Earl Jones. Um, I don't know, what those rights are, quite honestly. I know there was a whole thing about, Bruce Willis signing over, rights to his likeness to Deep Cake is what they were called, but that's not true, supposedly. His people, I guess you could say, have hit back at that saying that's not true. That's even more frightening to sign over digital likenesses to create doppelgangers, and then also, having the AI recreate your voice. You're essentially having digital actors at that point, and it's fairly creepy, quite honestly. Stanley says, "Can I go to a different universe? Maybe the one with cheaper natural gas? Possibly. Depends on if you have the resources and the availability to do that. So that's up to you." um, what else do we have here? This one I'm not on board with. So Taika Waititi is doing a Time Bandit series for Apple TV Plus starring Lisa Kudrow. Um, why? I don't know. Also, I know that Taika is going to be directing the first two episodes of it. And quite honestly, he directed the first two episodes of Our Flag Means Death. And that almost ruined that series for me. I almost stopped watching it completely because those two episodes sucked balls. They really did. It's a 10 episode series. I'm just not into this. They're saying Kudrow plays Penelope. Uh, Tuck portrays Tuck. Who the hell is Tuck? I'm sorry. Um, I'm looking at the article at the moment, and there's a couple different people that are actually in this, and I don't know who in the hell Tuck that they're talking about is. Oh, there we go. Cal L. Tuck. Oh God. Uh, Cal L. Tuck is the name of the actor. Yeah. So, yeah. Anyway, basically, it's going to be a time heist thing all over again, and I'm not looking forward to it at all. Um, Stanley says, "So you don't like Taika's directing?" It depends. Certain things are okay. Other things, when he starts really mixing in the Kiwi humor, which I don't like, quite honestly, it falls flat and seems really kind of forced and shitty, to tell you the truth. So those first two episodes of Our Flag Means Death killed it for me. I mean, like I said, I almost stopped right in the middle of episode two. Um, so yeah, I was done with that, just about. And then I stuck to episode three, and I'm like, all right, it's going away from whatever that first two episodes were. But yeah. Raymond K. Hessel says, "Does Monty Python have any hand in it?" Probably not. So I don't think Terry Gilliam has anything to do with any of this. So yeah, unfortunately. And that's usually the case with his movies that he doesn't own outright. It's the same thing with the 12 Monkeys TV series. Uh, he didn't have any hand in any of that at all. He was pretty pissed off, quite honestly, about it. And rightfully so, because yeah. Stanley says Thor 4 was a little bit of a tonal mess. You're talking about Love and Thunder. Yes, there are things that were messy in Love and Thunder. Wasn't my favorite Thor. Also wasn't the worst Thor. Dark World still reigns supreme as the worst Thor movie. Um, but yeah, I mean, we got a live action Eternity. So I look at the balances of that. There were some things. Gore could have been better in that movie. Uh, Eternity was just fucking mind blowing. Quite honestly, I love that. And I really did not like Russell Crowe as Zeus. So yeah. And also the guy who played Hercules, from Ted Lasso series, he's not Hercules. He's some dude that's dressed up in a skirt. Yeah. So, also, he might not be Hercules any longer, too. Supposedly, the contract that he signed means that he cannot he cannot star in any other series or movies or anything like that, supposedly. So what he did by filming that sequence was out of his contract for Ted Lasso, supposedly. That's a whole nother can of worms, by the way. So we'll see what happens with that. That's going to be a fun one for Apple TV and whatnot. This one's an interesting news. So Keanu Reeves and director Francis Lawrence are returning for a sequel to Constantine. Remember Constantine that was done back in 2005, I think is what it was. Unfortunately, the catch is it's being written by Akiva Goldsman and produced by J.J. Abrams. uh, oh, I mean, I like the Keanu Reeves Constantine movie for what it was. Yes, it's not anywhere near the comic. It deviates a lot from the comic, but it's still a fucking good movie. If you don't know the comic, it's actually a decent movie, and I liked it. I liked it for what it was. Peter Stormare is supposed to be coming back as Satan, which is fucking phenomenal because that was awesome as well. Tilda Swinton as Gabriel was great as well. Um, just everyone in that movie was phenomenal, except for Shia LaBeouf. Yeah, and I just hope he doesn't come back. That's the only person I don't need to come back in that movie. Yeah, we really don't need him to come back at all. So, but everyone else is welcome to return. I have that movie in my DVD cache up here someplace. I actually bought that at Blockbuster as one of the $5 movies. So that was a good find. I think it's in my comic book section someplace up here. Yeah. But I'm looking forward to that one. Actually, that should be fun. Armor Wars with Don Cheadle was supposed to be a series at Disney Plus. It's now moved over to feature film status. So yes, they are moving that over to a feature film now at this point. And that's going to be interesting. I don't know. I think because there just wasn't enough meat there for a series, and so they were doing it as a movie alone. I think that actually works better, quite honestly. CBM says in that movie specifically, I think you mean every movie or TV show. You're talking about Shia LaBeouf? Yeah. I don't need to see Shia LaBeouf in anything, quite honestly. I'm not really a fan of his either. So I can't think of anything that was better for him being in it. Nope. Nope. No, I can't. I can't think of anything that he's been in that. Yeah. No, I think we're good on that one. But sorry, I'm having little mouse problems here. Yeah, there we go. So it's not allowing me to get back to where I'm trying to go to. There we go. This is actually some good news here. So The Witcher Blood Origins is going to debut on Netflix on December 25th of this year. And season 3 of The Witcher is going to be in summer of 2023. So yeah, I'm actually okay with that. That'll be a good 1-2 punch. CBM says converting a TV show into a movie can be difficult, but I do feel happy for Cheadle because of it. I don't think this. I think they're doing it in pre-production. CBM. They're not. They haven't filmed anything as of yet. They were going into production, and the way Fahey says that they do their Disney Plus series is they shoot them like movies, only on a TV budget. So actually they're already setting this up as a movie anyway. All they did was truncate it by 2 episodes. So you have a 2-hour movie that is Armor Wars, and you're upping the budget. So you're increasing the CGI. You're going to add some splashier scenes, if you will. Think of them as splash pages, if you will. And so you're going to have probably 2 or 3 big production numbers within that movie. And that's where your budget's going to go to. Your main budget's going to for the CGI. So it's not difficult for Disney Plus to move one of their Marvel series from movies or from TV series to over to a movie. It's just truncating the story a bit more, trimming the story, if you will, and adding some stuff to it as well. Sorry, Pepper's having a little nightmare over there. You can probably hear that in the background. Stanley says Blood Origin, is that the prequel? Yes, it is the prequel. It is the prequel to The Witcher. And it's live action too, by the way. So that's gonna be fucking phenomenal. At first I thought it was going to be a animated series, but no, it's actually gonna be live action. So, yeah, I'm happy for all of that, quite honestly. We're getting so much stuff that's coming out right now that is, it's ridiculous the amount of content, genre content that we're getting in the next 3 to 5 years that's being announced. This is like nothing else we've ever had before, and, I'm for one and am kinda jazzed about it. CPM says, I'm just worried about what they trim in the writing and it feels obvious when you see it. Um, no, they'll end up rewriting the script completely, CBM, to actually fit it in. I think it'll be good. Stanley says the teaser did not make me very interested. Let's wait and see. You're talking about Blood Origins, Stanley. Um, yeah, just wait for it. I think it'll be good. Isn't Michelle Yao in that? And but yeah, I can't remember offhand. We also got a trailer for Guillermo del Toro's Cabinet of Curiosity, which hits Netflix on October 25th and is going to be 8 episodes over 4 nights. It looked interesting. It looked more like a old Tales from the Crypt meets Twilight Zone kind of thing ish, and it interested me enough. What really interested me was Peter Weller's in it. So Peter Weller is actually acting in this, and I love old Peter Weller, quite honestly, Professor Weller, I should say, because he does teach architecture, if I remember correctly. That is what he does for a living now, is he actually teaches and rarely acts anymore. So it's a joy to actually see him come back and do some acting. And so anytime he's going to be in something, I'll be there for it because I love watching him act. It's actually great. So yeah. But yeah, go take a look at that. That's up on my Facebook page, by the way, so you guys can take a look at that, or you can take a look on YouTube and see where it's at there. But it looks interesting. I mean, some of the stuff looks but other stuff looks interesting on that Cabinet of Curiosities. What else do we have? Oh yeah, Disney has removed Patty Jenkins' Rogue Squadron from the release schedule. So there have been, and I've talked about this before, that her schedule has been so fucked up that Rogue Squadron, they didn't know where they were going to fit it into her schedule to direct it. Uh, I know she's not writing it. I know she's just directing it, but she needs to do pre-production, all that kind of stuff. And supposedly Wonder Woman 3 is in quagmire at the moment, especially with what everything that's going on at Warner Brothers, that whole takeover thing that happened. And um, yeah, I don't know what's going on right now with where she stands over at Warner Brothers and where Wonder Woman 3 stands at this point. I haven't heard a release date of Wonder Woman 3. No one says anything. They don't even breathe about Wonder Woman 3 in any of the new stuff that I've seen. So I don't know what's going on. Maybe she's still fighting for it over there. Yeah, yeah. Stanley says, isn't Avery Brooks also a professor now? Possibly. I don't know. Just I know that Peter Weller, yeah, he's been a professor now for I want to say like 20 years now, something like that. And occasionally just comes back to do an acting gig here and there, and then goes back to teaching. I I just find it fascinating that uh, this dude has had such a weird life. I mean, as an interesting life, not weird, interesting life. That I would love to see a documentary on him, or even a biography, something like that. Yeah, I liked him in Odyssey 5 as well. Buckaroo Banzai, he is Buckaroo Banzai to me as well. RoboCop. Um, he's been in so many things. Tequila Sunset is another movie that is under the radar for a lot of people that didn't see that. But there's a lot of movies that he's been in, a lot of shows that he's been in that are awesome. He voiced Batman, for God's sake, in The Dark Knight Returns, parts 1 and 2, and does a fantastic job as old Batman, and loved him as that as well. So yeah. Him and Christopher Lee, I would love to see as biographies on. Christopher Lee, by the way, if you don't know, is if I remember correctly, he was the brother-in-law of Ian Fleming, and supposedly he was the basis of James Bond because of his real life exploits. I mean, yeah, it just is kind of a mind blower, quite honestly. So that's a person I would love to see a biography or a movie done on him and just what he's done, what he did in his life. It just, amazing kind of stuff. The Crow reboot starring Bill Skarsgård has wrap production. So we got that. So that is in the can pretty much. And yeah, it's fairly interesting. It's I can't believe that they're doing a reboot, but I can at the same time. Um Stanley says he was also an opera singer. Christopher Lee, I believe so. He was also almost royalty as well, if I remember correctly, Danish or Swedish princess, something like that. I want to say, yeah, he almost married into royalty and would have become a duke or a prince, if I remember correctly. And then something happened where he did not get married. But yeah, there are just so many things about Christopher Lee. Go and Google it, look it up. You will be amazed at the stuff that has done that he did in his life. It pales in comparison. Even if you do like 10% of what he did in his life, it would be a full life, quite honestly. Um, that's how amazing the stuff that he did was. Yeah. Yes, he did speak German because of the operas. Correct. Good news also, Doom Patrol season 4 is set to premiere in December on HBO Max. We don't know when in December. All we just got was that it's premiering in December. So that's awesome. I'm looking forward to it, of course, because it's Doom Patrol. No word on a season 5 because, of course, the shit show that is Warner Brothers, HBO Max, Discovery Plus, all that kind of stuff. We do know that Young Justice season 5 probably isn't going to happen. DC Comics just canceled the comic book tie-in that was with it. So the artist who also works on the storyboards for Young Justice said he was working on the last issue. This just happened yesterday, as a matter of fact. And yeah, he is saying that, yeah, most likely season 5 isn't going to happen because even if they greenlit it today, it would still take a year and a half for them to do season 5 because they're not working on it because they still haven't gotten a green light on it and they're hearing nothing but crickets from Warner Brothers. So that's not happening either. Um, yeah, I don't know what's going to happen though. Yeah, CBM, the storyline for season 4 for Doom Patrol is fucking batshit crazy as usual, and I'm definitely looking forward to. I'm going to be covering it, of course. So yeah. Raymond says, I wonder if Brendan Fraser will be hard to reacquire because of his Oscar worthy status now. I don't think so, Raymond. It's where his resurgence started with Doom Patrol, I would say, and I think he'll be okay. I think they'll be okay. And honestly, I don't think you're going to get a season 5 just because of the shit show that is Warner Brothers right now. Um, we're gonna see a steady die off of DC stuff coming from Warner Brothers fairly soon, which is stupid, quite honestly. But yeah, we're not going to see as much coming out of them, especially from HBO Max. Stanley says, I wonder which of the CW series will survive on HBO Max. Nothing too great will be lost, but still. The only thing I could say will be Superman and Lois. Most likely will move over to HBO Max because it has the least shitty reception and has the best quality production value at the moment and best storyline. They just recast Jonathan Kent. And it's kind of funny. The actor who plays Jonathan Kent, and I can't remember his name right now, the new Jonathan Kent, I should say, looks a lot like the kid who plays his brother. So they actually look like brothers now. so yeah, it's kind of funny. But he also looks like the old actor too, a bit. He kind of resembles him as well. And considering that Jonathan Kent is supposed to his storyline in season 3, I think is where we're at, is supposed to be a big one, and then also into season 4 as well. CBM says from the season description and the episode titles, it does seem like they might have planned for the possibility of this being the like, yeah, they did CBM. I mean, it's Carver, it's Christopher Carver, is that right? I can't remember. His last name's Carver. So he always plans for this kind of stuff anyway. He always brings it to a nice I guess you could say ending if there's going to be an ending. Like if you look at the last season 3, they ended it them going off on a mission, and that's where we ended it. You could have actually just ended the series like Jeremy Carver. Thank you, CBM. Yes, Jeremy Carver. Um, so yeah, he ends up it's not his first rodeo. I mean, he's been on Supernatural, Angel, shit, what else? He's been on multiple shows. So he understands cancellation stuff and all that stuff fairly well. Plus he's just an awesome person, you know, the way he runs things. Sony has picked up the rights, the movie rights to Tarzan, and they're going to be working on a new Tarzan movie, which we get every like decade or so, every 15 years, roughly somewhere around there. We get a new Tarzan movie, which retells the old tired tale of, Tarzan and blah, 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 blah. I wish they would kind of update it to modern times and uh, do it that way. That would make it more interesting. Instead, they always set it in the 1800s, and shipwreck and blah, 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 blah. Update it to modern times. I think it'd be interesting. I mean, sure, it's George of the Jungle, but still, I can see it happening. But yeah, I'm not really jazzed about a new Tarzan movie. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes starts production next month. So yeah, it starts production next month. Supposedly it takes place I guess a decade after you know, the last movie, Caesar is dead. And his friends said they'll let his son know about him, what he did, and blah 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 blah. So maybe it's probably about his son growing up and ruling this kingdom. Maybe it's 20 years. I don't know, something like that. So we'll see where it's at. The other movies were okay. Matt Reeves, the guy who did the Batman, did the other trilogy that came out, and it was okay. It wasn't fantastic. For me, it was just kind of forgettable. It wasn't anything that was going to. It wasn't like the original movies, quite honestly. But nothing was going to be. Stanley says, "Why are there still Tarzan rights? The book is more than 100 years old." Yeah, but the film rights are not, Stanley. So depending on the content and the media, you have different copyrights for different things. So movie rights for Tarzan get renewed every time there's a new incarnation of them. That's why Mickey Mouse, they change Mickey Mouse's appearance and copyright it every 10 years because the copyright standard. So the reason why copyrights go out to 90 years, or I think it's 95 years right now, is because of Mickey Mouse. Um, it used to actually go off at 70 years, I think is what it was. And then Walt Disney or the Disney team have pushed out copyright laws to, I think, 95 years is where we're at now, or 100 years. I can't remember which one it is. I think it's 95. No, actually, you're right. It's 100 years. So they are at 100 years right now, but Mickey Mouse, they changed the design slightly of Mickey Mouse and then copyright that. And that's how Mickey Mouse stays in copyright all this time, is because they changed a certain little bit of design and recopyright it. It could be a button, it could be, positioning of the pants, something like that, positioning of the gloves, whatever, but it's a minor little alteration and that becomes a copyrightable thing. There's a whole thing about copyright law. I took a class on it a long time ago, and it's boring as fuck. But also, it's very very helpful if you're going to copyright something. But if you base the movie on the original book, yeah, it doesn't. The book is in public domain, but the movies are not. So if you have something different in the movie that is not in the book, then the movie is the copyrightable thing. The book is still public domain. Yes. Mm. So if you've copyrighted a certain version of Tarzan and you're doing a movie of Tarzan, and then someone decides they're going to do a Tarzan movie, not going to happen, because it's competing on the same name, which has already been copyrighted. That's what happens. It's a weird little do-si-do. So, with the acquisition of MGM, all 25 James Bond movies are heading over to Amazon Prime on October 5th. So, if you want to watch all the James Bond movies in a row in order, October 5th is when it's going to happen. So, you'll be able to watch them all on Amazon Prime if you have Amazon Prime. So, if you're doing a movie marathon, James Bond movie marathon, there you have it. I'm interested in seeing them all uncut again, which is good. I'll watch them here and there. So, yeah, that'll be fun. The Blade movie has lost its director, Bassam Tariq. And they were supposed to go into production next month, I think is when they were supposed to go into production. So, kind of a big deal. Although I don't know if losing that director was such a great loss, quite honestly. I honestly don't know what he's done. And yeah, I mean, I'm hoping they get somebody in that gets pretty good there. Is this an Ant-Man situation? You mean where there's creative differences involved? Possibly. So I don't think there's studio interference. So no, that whole thing was I don't know if it was studio interference, Stanley, for it was just that that director is hard to work with, quite honestly. And he's notoriously hard to work with. Uh Yeah, because he wants to do things a certain way, and Marvel has a playbook that they're going by because they are planning things out in advance. And he did not want to go by the playbook. So, um, yeah, Edgar Wright, he's doing his own thing, and that's great. He can do his own thing. I saw, last night in Soho, and he can keep doing his own thing. That's all I can say. I'm not a huge Edgar Wright fan. I mean, he's a competent director, but he's not anything that wows me. He really isn't. So I kind of think he's overrated, to tell you the truth. Um, so there's going to be a series based on David Cronenberg's Scanners, and it's heading to HBO Max with one of the writers for Black Mirror, who is going to be the series showrunner. That could be interesting. It could also be a big fiasco. I don't know. We'll see what happens with that. Um, Scanners is an interesting movie, but it's not Cronenberg's best movie. It's his most commercial movie, I guess you could say. Um, all right, sure. And I know Cronenberg's involved in it, so I'm okay with it. This will be an interesting test of if Cronenberg's more commercial stuff can actually move over to even more commercialization, I guess you could say. Stanley says, I like the Cornetto trilogy. They were okay. But again, is anyone talking about them now? No, they're not. So it's in the past. The only people that are talking about the Cornetto trilogy are the people that were around when they originally came out. Um, any of the new generation, no one talks about any of that at all. So it's kind of like Kevin Smith's movies. No one talks about it except for the people that were around when they came out. They were good for its time, and then they aged horribly. They aged really, really horribly. Um, so they are great little pockets of history, is where they're at. Their own niche in history, I guess you could say, in movie history. There are a few movies that are timeless, I guess you could say, and even fewer movies that are classics. So Stanley says Kevin Smith himself aged even more horribly. He did. Yes, I agree with you. Especially from what I'm hearing about this last Clerks movie, Clerks 3. I heard it's just fucking god awful. It's basically a autobiography kind of thing, is really what it is. And again, I called this during the He-Man Revelations thing, that he's just stuck on one thing now, and it's all about the heart attack. And that carried over into Clerks 3, and I'm like, yeah, this is what he's going to be doing for the rest of his life. He's just going to be kind of reliving that over and over and over again in film if he gets to do all of that. So if he gets paid for it. So, and from what I understand, Clerks 3, he's been going on the road with it and having doing showings of it different places. And, you know, I'm not going to go and see it. I made the mistake of seeing, oh God, what was it? Was it the last one? Jay and Silent Bob, the reboot? Yeah, the reboot one. I saw that on Amazon, I think is what it was, for free, and I wanted my money back. It was just fucking horrible. And his daughter can't act for shit. That's the only reason why she gets his job, is because she's, related to the director and the writer. But anyway, I've said enough on that one. So that's all I got for you guys, news wise. I am going to be, what am I going to be doing for the rest of this week? Well, tomorrow is going to be House of the Dragon. We'll be doing that tomorrow. Tuesday is going to be another episode of Is It Worth My Time? And this time around, it's going to be Rob Zombie's version of The Munsters, which is on Netflix. Yeah. Wednesday is going to be Andor. Thursday will be the ever excellent She-Hulk. I'll be talking about that on Thursday. Friday will be The Lord of the Rings of Power. Saturday I'll be off. And then, of course, we roll it back around again to Sunday with, the Sunday edition of Saturday Morning Blast Off, where I take the genre news of the week and any genre stuff you guys want to talk about, we talk about it. So let me see what else is rolling around on coming out here soon. So if you go over to suspendedfanimation.com, under the schedule, there is some future stuff that's coming out. Interview with the Vampire came out. It's coming out today. Actually came out early, I know that. Chucky season 2 is coming out on Sci-Fi on October 5th. October 7th, there's something coming out too. Oh, Werewolf by Night. There we go. So yes, Werewolf by Night is going to be on Disney Plus, which I'm really looking forward to. Also, Pennyworth season 3 is going to start on HBO Max October 6th. So we've got that coming out. Also on October 7th, we have the reboot of Hellraiser on Hulu. So we've got that going on as well. There's going to be a lot of stuff coming out this month. I mean, we got the Winchesters, the Peripheral, Black Adam, Tales of the Jedi, the Mysterious Benedict Society season 2 is coming out on October 26th. And then, it's just, there's so much stuff coming out. It's ridiculous. CBN says, I'm not sure if I'm interested in the Munsters. Watch my what my review of it first before you go into it, CBM, trust me. Stanley says, "Wow, The Monsters is supposed to be horrible, but it's so bad. But is it so bad that it is good to watch?" No. CBM, so I'm hearing good things about Werewolf. Yeah, I'm hearing excellent things about Werewolf by Night, and considering that I remember reading it when I was a kid, um, I I know I have it on, hey, what's going on, Sirius? Um, what do I have it on? Comixology. So I've got the all the issues of Werewolf by Night on Comixology. I just haven't gone through them. So I've got all the digital issues. Somehow or another, I got that for free. I don't know how, but I did. So, oh, Sirius, I'm sorry. Yeah, Google is a bitch. They really are. YouTube, they do that. But you know what? You're paying my bills. No, not really. I get cents on the dollar on that one, quite honestly. I wish I got more, but no, I don't. So yeah. Were they good ads at all, or were they just, feminine hygiene products, or you know, what am I getting, for ads wise? You have premium for now? Nice. I never know what ads people are watching on my uh, you know, all my videos now. I'm kind of hoping that they have stuff like, I don't know, some cool shit at least. Also some just absurd shit as well. You remember the music? I'm sorry, man. Yeah. But yeah, I put that's my fault on that one. I do put them on for, advertising dollars. I know. Stanley says on my PC I have no ads. Is that bad? Am I bad? No, I have the same thing as well. I understand. Are they Viagra commercials? All right. At least someone's getting lucky. Oh man. So what else am I talking about here? Yeah, that's pretty much I've been so I bought an annual. I know I said I wasn't gonna do it, but Peacock made me an offer I could not refuse. $20 for an entire year is normally $50. So I was like, 20 bucks. I've spent more on less shit. So I spent the $20 for Peacock with ads, and it was mainly I wanted to see how bad the last Jurassic World movie was, and it was pretty bad. I actually fell asleep near the end of it. Um, so yeah, there's that going on. But mainly it's for they have that 70 show, and I've been burning through that 70 show. That's kind of like now my background noise that goes on. And it's kind of funny being able to watch them back to back to back. You realize how often they recycle a lot of the plot lines in a lot of these shows. What is on Peacock? I have no idea because it's all the NBC Universal stuff, Stanley. So it's like sci-fi channel stuff. They also have Bravo series stuff on there. But it's mostly the NBC stuff and some Fox stuff as well. So yeah. Yes, Universal. There you go. It's live action recreations of erotic Kirk. No, no, they don't have that's Paramount Plus. That's the Paramount Plus stuff. But yeah, it's interesting. That's right, CBM. They just announced that Community is doing a movie for Peacock. Right, serious. Thanks. So yeah, it's 6 seasons in a movie. For Community, yes. Yes, that is what they're doing. It there actually is a lot of stuff on Peacock, I have to admit. So movies are going to Peacock as well. So they have stuff like Halloween Ends is supposed to be coming out on Peacock the end of this month, somewhere around there. They've got stuff like Zombieland on there, which I already own, so it's not a big deal. But also, they have their Halloween niche, if you will. They have first run movies and TV shows, things of that nature. So yeah. CBM says I watched Wolf Like Me, which is on there. I enjoyed it. Okay. I don't like Josh Gad, so yeah, I don't know if I could stand it. Do they have the Hulk movies? You mean the TV shows? You know what? I didn't check, to tell you the truth, Stanley. I haven't checked if they had the old cheesy Hulk series movies with Bill Bixby. That should be an interesting. Yeah, I'll take a look for that and see if they do have them. Especially with the old Thor one with the tiny hammer that he had. Also the Ang Lee and the MCU one. The Ang Lee one is on I want to say it's on Paramount Plus, if I'm not mistaken. No, maybe not. Actually, I think they just lost the rights to that, Stanley. I think it rolled back to Marvel now. The rights to Hulk, because they are talking about doing a Hulk movie now, a standalone Hulk movie. Serious, I remember the Ang Lee one. I feel young again. Not knowing the series you're talking about. So yeah, the series he's talking about is the Bill Bixby one with Lou Ferrigno as the Hulk. The one where he'd show up, once or twice an episode as the Hulk and be in slow motion, and he'd knock over a countertop or a car or something like that. Then he'd run off into the distance and you never see him again. And then at the end of it, Bill Bixby would be back on the road again, hitchhiking. And then they did a couple of movies, like they had Thor in one of them. They had Daredevil, who was dressed all in black and then also had a blindfold on, because everyone doesn't know that he's blind unless he has a blindfold on. Fucking ridiculous. It was the early 80s, like late 70s, early 80s, and they did those. I want to say there's another one as well, and I can't remember which one it was. Yeah, one of them was the end of the Hulk. Yeah. I saw all those when they originally aired, because I was a young geek at the time and did see those. Sirius says, standalone Hulk movie. You say brilliant. I can't believe no one's tried doing that before. I'm sure we'll discover he's a super exciting character first. Funny, Sirius. Yes, I understood that heavy sarcasm. There are ways of so I think what they're doing is with She-Hulk is they are setting up the Hulk World War Hulk storyline. If they are, that would actually make an excellent movie. So we'll see where that goes, quite honestly. Are they going to recast the Hulk? They could. I mean, it's always a possibility. I mean, for God's sake, what's his name? Ruffalo had a stroke at one point. That's why he said he had to retrain half of his face in order to, get back into being able to speak correctly and all that kind of stuff again. I mean, poor guy, he had to work through some stuff. He had some paralysis going on his face there that he had to work through. So there's always a possibility that he can be recast. It's Solo like Thor Ragnarok. Was it a palsy? I thought it was a stroke that he had. They were being very coy about what it was. Yeah, they didn't really say what it was. They just said it was, something, but yeah. What is Ed Norton doing nowadays? He's fuming in a corner someplace and making really bad adaptations of really good books. So Motherless Brooklyn, by the way, is a horrible fucking movie. It's a really horrible fucking movie of a really good book. So the book was actually a 1999 Pulitzer Prize winner. There's a reason for that. It's actually my favorite book, and Ed Norton bought the rights to it and then destroyed that fucking book, the storyline completely by making a really horrible movie and killing two people in the process of making that movie as well. And then disappeared after that. You never heard from him again. So, yeah. That's what Ed Norton's doing right now is he's laying low. Uh, So Siri says, could have been a stroke. Yeah, I understand that. It can change the way people look at you, even when you're not a famous actor. And a stroke implies even worse health conditions. Yeah. That's why I'm saying they weren't forthcoming about what really happened to him. And I'm fairly, it sounded more like a stroke than a palsy. So palsy, yes, I know palsies can hit people later on in life, things of that nature. But man, everything that he went through from what it sounded like sounds like a stroke. Yeah. I mean, it's the same thing with Amelia Clark where she had, 2 brain aneurysms that went off, while doing Game of Thrones, and I'm like, "Fuck," you know? Um, that's kinda horrible, where she said she had to, learn how to speak again on some of some things there. So, man, that's some fucked up shit. Human bodies are fragile. They really are. I like Mark Ruffalo as well. I mean, he is a really nice guy. Um He's not the greatest actor, though. I'll say this right now. He really isn't. I'm okay with him as Hulk and Bruce Banner. Uh, they're okay. There are better actors out there, I think, that would have fit the role better, but he's okay. You know who I would really love to see as Bruce Banner and Hulk? Joseph Gordon-Levitt. I said it right then and there. Joseph Gordon-Levitt. I think he would play an excellent Bruce Banner and, an even better Hulk. Especially after hearing him voice, Jiminy Cricket in Pinocchio. I didn't realize that was him voicing Jiminy Cricket, and I was like, "Holy fuck!" Because I was looking it up on IMDb, and, he's the best thing out of Pinocchio, by the way. So the new Disney version of Pinocchio is fucking horrible, by the way, except for Jiminy Cricket. Siri says, "Palsy are more likely early in life. I just confused it for stroke in my early 20s. Ruffalo is older, so yeah, it probably was a stroke. Yeah. They both present an immediate onset of facial and muscular paralysis. Exactly. Yeah. So I know my medical conditions. Yeah, my doctors always get freaked out when I bring something up and they're like, how do you know about that? I'm like, because I can read. I can put two and two together. But anyway, yeah. So I'm gonna let you guys go because I'm approaching the hour mark here and I've run out of news. So I'm gonna let you guys go for the rest of the day. Thank you to everybody who joined me tonight in the chat or today in the chat, today, tonight, wherever you are, today, this afternoon in the chat. And thank you if you made it this far in the video. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, you know who you are out there. Take a look at the video that pops up at the very end here. YouTube takes the algorithms of all the stuff you've been watching and tries to match it as best as possible to one of the videos in my vast video library and pops it up here just for you. And if you like what you see there, hit that subscribe button down below there. And if you can, hit that like button and the share button as well. And if you want to know when I'm be on live again next or a close approximation to it, go over to suspendedfanimation.com. Take a look at the schedule I have up there. I change it out every week. Also, I have all the links to my social media there and all the links for my pages as well. Thank you, everybody. I will see you again tomorrow for House of the Dragon. Siri says, I didn't for a while. It's good to not have to know. Never want to be WebMD in yourself. I don't do WebMD, quite honestly, Sirius, because WebMD is sometimes quackish in a way. Um, I actually look up medical papers and yeah, there's different places I go to, let's just say. And I go and look at the actual, medical histories of stuff, and I try and deduce it enough where I can make a good educated guesstimation where I can bring it up to the doctor. I'm like, "Hey, what do you think that? Is this a possibility?" And the doctor kind of goes, that actually doesn't sound like a bad idea. How do you know about this? Is what he says to me. Like, yeah, because I do a little bit of research. So I used to do research a long, long time ago for things. So yeah, I used to work in a pharmaceutical world. So I had to know some of these things. But anyway, thank you, everybody. I will see you guys again tomorrow for House of the Dragon. Until then, don't let the door hit your ass on the way out. Otherwise, you could have people talking on the internet whether or not you've had a palsy or a stroke because you're a famous person. And we all just want to know because we want you around again to do whatever character you're working on. Sirius says, yeah, I mean, colloquially, self diagnosing could bug you out. Yeah. Thanks, everybody. I will see you again tomorrow. Until then, stay safe, be well, take care. Wear those masks, get those vaccine shots, get the boosters as well. They don't work without the boosters. And there's a new Omicron booster that's out there. So see if you can get that. Thanks, everybody. I will see you again tomorrow. Have a good rest of your day. Stay safe, be well, take care, and have fun out there, everyone. Thanks, everybody. Have a good rest of your day.